What's your new Indian name? Mr. Winded.
I've got enough Indian in me that I could have that.
There you go.
Native American, Indigenous American, I don't know what the proper term is these days. Whatever. I am, what, 1/16 Cherokee / Cree? Something like that?
Slash Creek.
/ Cree.
Yeah.
All right. Good morning. How you doing, Mr. Busch Gardens?
I'm doing fine. We're here to remedy a couple of problems we couldn't figure out yesterday. The parking brake we think we have solved, and this one we're probably going to take out the push rod, disconnect the master cylinder there again.
Or something.
Yeah, we're just not getting it. We're bleeding it by the ton, and we're not getting any air bubbles coming through when we depress the brake. We should be getting it. So anyway, just a little setback. We'll get going and fix it.
Okay. So thanks for all your comments, everybody. I went through and dug up the instructions on these things yesterday for the parking brake, and then remembered there was one of those star adjusters. So we have to do that. The instructions are a little confusing because they say turn the wheel until you feel a slight drag. Well, this is on an axle, so as soon as I feel a slight drag on this side, well, I'm going to feel it on the other side too. So then how do I go adjust the other side? So what we're going to do, we've engaged the parking brake like 2 clicks, so it's just a little bit engaged, and then we'll do that procedure. So we'll make this one to where it drags a little bit, and then the other one so it drags a little bit more, and then hopefully when you release the brake, both shoes are not making contact with the hubs there, hopefully. And then on the bleeding side, as Pops was just talking about, I want to probably pop the master cylinder off and just make sure I put that push rod in there and that it's the right length. I'm pretty sure it's all in there because there's some pedal feel. It's not like there's none. But the fact that we mash on the brake pedal and we don't see any bubbles coming up here, I don't see anything coming out of the calipers, is a little odd. So we'll probably check that, and hopefully we can do that without draining it, because I have to start all over if we do that. A couple of people asked about bench bleeding the master cylinder. I did not do that because A, I thought it was going to make a mess everywhere, and B, we have a vacuum brake bleeder, and if there's any air in the system, it should pull it out, I would think. So we'll be putzing around with that, but we want to get the parking brake working so we feel like we have something working today, and then we can fight the hydraulics after that.
Yeah.
All right, so we slapped one of the wheels on here, so Pops is going to do the spinny test to see when the parking brake engages. Yeah?
Yes.
Don't hurt yourself.
I won't.
So let me show you what's going on over here.
Do we need a screwdriver for that?
Yeah.
Flathead?
Yep. Focus. All right, so the access port is right here. These 4-link brackets are kind of in the way here, so I'm hoping I can get a screwdriver in there. Anyways, I was just saying, I'm not sure if you can adjust these both ways. So if I make it too tight, can I back it off a little bit? So I'm going to play around with it a little bit here. I'm not going to film this because it's kind of hard up on here. All right, so I forgot that this is a limited slip rear end or whatever, so you can't actually spin the 2 wheels independently. So we have the parking brake off, spins freely. That is much stiffer, yes. Nothing. Okay, so at least to first order, we have a parking brake. How strong it is, I don't know yet, but that's good.
We're going to test it into the creek.
Yeah. So the plan for testing the brakes on this thing, first thing we're going to do, put the car down on the ground, engage the parking brake, and then use the winch and see if we can move the car with the winch. If not, then we'll roll it down the driveway a little bit, see if it'll sit under its own weight, etc. This is a pretty steep driveway, so I don't know, 5 degrees or something? Not sure. So if the parking brake will hold here, we're in pretty good shape. So
the ultimate test is the creek is a 90-degree driveway.
yes, the creek, yeah, it's probably about 45.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if we make it to the creek, we're in trouble. We don't want to go into the creek. This would be bad. Hopefully this oak tree would stop us right here, so
I still got room in between them.
Good times, good times. All right, don't joke about that. It's not funny.
All right, we're good, we're good.
All right, so we're gonna switch back to the hydraulics now. All right, so a mixed bag. We've been out here working at this for a couple hours. The push rod was not missing from there. So the power brake adapter had the little stub sticking out, which I thought would engage the master cylinder, but it didn't because the master cylinder's got a big bore in it. And then I remembered I did have this. It's not a push rod; it's basically an adapter or something that goes up inside there. So that was missing. So we put that on. That helped. And then we kept trying to bleed the brakes with this thing, and it just doesn't work. We've spent so much time with that, and it just doesn't work. So we went back to old school bleeding, and that we still have air in the lines, but that pretty much covered it. So we have brakes on all four wheels now. But the big problem we have, which is what I was afraid of, so as Pops gets out of the way.
Right.
Is here. Let me get this off the tripod, hang on. All right, so this little bastard of a connection here, which I was always afraid was going to leak, does in fact leak. I've tried tightening everything down, but it just doesn't work. So we need to come up with a better way of doing this. So this is the hard line from the rear, and I don't remember what the size of this is, but it's like 5/8 or something. And of course these are the 3/16 line fittings, and I could not find any way to connect these two together, so I had to do this stupid thing of this to the 3/16 line with a union, and then to that, and that just sucks. So I'm not happy with that. So we're looking at two possibilities here. One, if I can find a way to get this guy up to that size, which might be possible, then I can have a union of whatever this is, like I said, 5/8 I think. I just have one union. Or we can cut this one off and try and flare this to something else that is easier to connect to this. But I don't know what that is. But this doesn't work. So we're gushing brake fluid out there, and that's not happy. So the brakes do work, but we have this problem that I don't know how to deal with. So we will have to contemplate this. So we'll post this, let you guys chime in, see if anybody has any thoughts on that, and we'll move on to something else. All right, so we're going to move on to something fun today. The dashboard. So got this stuff in this last week. So this is the dash pad from NPD, National Parts Depot. Actually, most of this stuff is from National Parts Depot. I'm not quite sure the state of affairs of this. A couple of years ago, NPD made their own version of this dash pad, and it was the best in the industry by all accounts. It sounds like now OER has cloned it, so that's the same as the OER version. But what is available in the warehouses and stuff, who knows, you may still get the old version or the new version. So I went with the NPD one. They don't sell like a complete kit with all the bolts and everything, which is kind of annoying. So the only thing they really offer is the clip kit for it. And then this lower piece, I thought this was going to come with all the bolt clips and stuff to attach this to that, but it didn't. So we're going to have to improvise something there. We have the AMK interior master kit coming. That should have been here by now, but they didn't ship it for a week, so we don't have that right now. So we're just going to kind of cobble this together right now. And the plan basically is just mock up the dash real quick, so that we can get an idea of where I can mount all the electronics and stuff that have to go under here. So we're not doing the final install today, but just mock it up, which means we need to start with this stuff. So we'll get that going, and then that stuff. And we have more parts. That's not everything. We have the under steering wheel part. We have the vent on the left. This is the glove box. So all the various pieces are still coming in. But let's go ahead and get working on the brackets here.
Okay.
All right, so this guy goes here. That contraction goes there. The long guy goes there. I only had the big bolts here that came with these brackets that I bought, and nothing else for everything else. And like I said, I'm still waiting on that AMK kit, which I hope contains all those things. But all I have is little metric fasteners and stuff, so we're just tying this stuff all together for now so that it's sitting there. I think that's all we need to put in place to drop the dash in. So now we need to connect these two. But I'm going to start without doing that. I don't think we need that to do the mock-up. So we're just going to start with this, put the clips on there and just kind of edge it up in there and see how it looks. All right, so we just put a couple of clips in there. And it's not mounted in here properly yet, but hopefully when it's sitting in the right place, this will sit pretty nicely there. But it's looking good, I think. This side we're able to pull the clips in pretty well. We only have this clip and then one clip over here, so hopefully this one here will cinch down like that. I think it'll look good. Pretty happy with that. First time this car has had a dashboard since I bought it. Pops is happy.
Yes.
Looks really nice. This looks good. So it turns out we didn't actually have to put any of the brackets in to do this part, but this gives me a lot of ideas of where things can fit here. So we might put some of the other parts up here real quick, just to get an idea. Like I said, I want to find where I can put all the Dakota Digital stuff and everything, relays, whatever. So let's kind of stare at this for a little bit and see what I think. All right, we're just having fun now. We do not have the proper clips that go in this part to attach it to the upper dash. So that's a nightmare. I'm hoping that AMK kit comes with those, otherwise this is really hard because the nuts are inside a little recessed compartment there. You gotta try and get a nut in there, it's gonna be not fun. But that's approximately correct. We did put I put the clips on upside down, so it was very difficult to get this thing back off. So we are not gonna match this up there again until we're ready to put it in for the final time, because it's really hard to get those things out. So I'm gonna play around a little bit with the dash, or the glove box area over there, get the vintage air glove box out, see how that stuff lines up, and then we'll take it from there. Again, we're still displaying here, so I just stuck that up in there to get the sense. I don't know for many of you folks out there in the YouTube land, if you can really grasp how momentous it is to see some interior in this car. Remember when I got it, it was a drag car, so it had nothing. So I've never seen a dashboard in this car. It's very cool to see. It's all very flimsily held together here, so I have to be very careful not to knock the whole dashboard off in the process. But I'm stoked. What do you think, Pops?
Looks beautiful. Much better than I thought it would.
Yeah, I am super impressed with the quality on this stuff. This glove box has a little bit of some discolorations on it, or smudges or something, but other than that, it looks really nice. So it's not perfect, but you know, this is a 40-plus-year-old car, so it might look a little odd if it was perfect. Yeah. All right, so we found places to mount all the various pieces of electrical hardware that I can think of. So the only other thing I want to contemplate is some kind of bracket for the stereo here. As Pops was asking what kind of stereo goes in there. I have in mind, I forget who makes it, I think it's Alpine. They have this head unit that has a big display on it that's movable. I don't know if I can get it far enough down to clear this, but it's going to be really front heavy. And so there's no way I could just put a one DIN, rack thing in there and call it a day. It's going to need some kind of support. So I have to think of some way to get a bracket from there up to the top of the dash or something as a back support for it. I think it's just going to go right into where that bracket goes right there. I think it'll be fine. So I may not have to do anything with that right now, but let's get this thing back out and then I'll show you what the plan is for all the electronics.
Well, today we made some monumental claims. Played with the brakes. Looks like we have a leak that we got to fix. go from a 5/8 to 3/8 coupling from copper tubing to metal tubing, can't flange the metal tubing without leak. But the good news is, park brakes are done, brakes are done other than the leak. And now we look at the, as Eric was showing you the video of the dashboard coming together. Well, that's big.
Yes.
That's almost as big as me.
That's saying a lot.
Yeah, it is.
You're a tall man.
Yeah. Good looking too, don't forget that.
Well, that's where I get it from.
Yeah.
Don't tell Mom.
Yeah. No, it's a pretty good day.
It was. So, Pops and I were discussing the ideal solution for this, I think, if anyone knows if such a thing exists. What we want is a flex line with a female 5/8 or whatever this is, with, so female that, and then a male 3/16 here. That's what I want. Because then we can just go straight from this over to here with a flex line. You see, I had to build this funny little thing here because the proportioning valve is 3/16. And there's not enough room under here to stick something under it. So, brake fluid. So we need something to go from here to here. And you can see they're all almost in line with each other, but not quite. So a flex line would be perfect, like a 6-8-inch flex line. So if anyone knows of such a thing, or if somewhere I can get one fabricated, that's the ideal solution. But I don't know where I can find such a thing. So if you guys have any ideas on that, that would be great. Pops is not here tomorrow. Probably. Mostly. So I will probably be out here and start attacking this mess under here, start putting the electronics and things in place where I think they need to go. And then, I don't know, are we working this weekend?
Saturday, Sunday for me.
Oh, okay. We'll see. I might need a vacation from my vacation, so
Okay. Up to you. I'm available.
we'll see. All right.
All right.
Have a good one. We'll
I will.
see you possibly tomorrow.
No bananas today?
You took all the bananas.
I know. That's for banana bread for you tomorrow.
Well, you're not coming tomorrow.
Well, I know it, so I can eat it.
Exactly. Man, you see what I have to deal with, people?
Yeah.
Daily basis of confusion. All right. Have a good one. We'll catch you guys on the next one. See ya.